Everyone at her funeral smiled, except her. Part 3, Finale. The Arrests and Final Truth. If you're just joining us, stop this video right now and go watch Part 1 and 2. What I'm about to show you will only make sense if you know the full story. Breaking news. Multiple news clips playing simultaneously. News Anchor 1. 3 arrests made in connection with a multi-state murder conspiracy. News Anchor 2. FBI estimates at least 17 victims over a 15-year period. News Anchor 3. Insurance fraud totaling over $2.3 million. I am looking exhausted but relieved. It's over. They got them. Sarah Chen, Mike Chen, and Rebecca Walsh were arrested yesterday morning in coordinated FBI raids across 2 states. But what happened during those arrests? You're not going to believe it. The FBI released this footage to the public as part of their ongoing investigation. What you're about to see is the actual arrest of my Aunt Sarah. And the confession she made? It's going to haunt me for the rest of my life. But first, I need to tell you about Emma. Because we found her. And where we found her, it changes everything. Remember how Emma disappeared right after Part 1 went viral? The FBI traced her cell phone to a location 200 miles outside the city. This cabin, middle of nowhere, no neighbors for miles. The perfect place to make someone disappear permanently. Agent Park led the rescue operation at 5 a.m. yesterday. What they found inside: Emma was alive, but barely. She'd been drugged, kept sedated for almost a week. Rebecca Walsh was keeping her in this cabin until they could figure out how to handle the Emma situation. When the FBI found her, she was scheduled to die that night. They were going to make it look like a hiking accident. Emma was coherent enough to give a statement to the FBI, and what she told them broke the case wide open. Emma, I've been documenting their operation for 2 years. I have recordings. I have financial records. I have everything. Recordings. Emma had been secretly recording family conversations for 2 years. She knew what was happening to our elderly relatives, and she'd been building a case against Sarah and Mike on her own. She plays the audio clip. Sarah, recorded, Harold's asking too many questions about his medication. Rebecca needs to speed up the timeline. Mike, recorded. What if he gets suspicious? Sarah, recorded. He won't be suspicious for long. That recording is from 3 days before Harold died. They were discussing his murder like they were planning a dinner party. Emma had dozens of these recordings. Conversations about insurance policies, payments to Rebecca, discussions about which family members to target next. But the most chilling recording was from the night before Grandma died. Sarah, recorded. Margaret's been writing in that damn diary again. Rebecca says she needs to search the house after it's done. Mike, recorded. What if she hid it somewhere? Sarah, recorded. Then we tear the house apart until we find it. We can't have her paranoid ramblings surface later. They knew about the diary. They were planning to destroy it. The only reason we found it is because Emma told Grandma to hide it where they'd never think to look. Emma saved Grandma's final testimony. And because of that, we have them. The arrests happened simultaneously at 6 a.m. yesterday. Sarah at her house, Mike at his office, Rebecca at a motel where she was preparing to skip town. FBI agent, Sarah Chen, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, insurance fraud, and racketeering. Sarah, this is insane. I haven't done anything wrong. Those people died naturally. Sarah's arrest was dramatic, but Mike's reaction was completely different. Mike didn't resist, didn't deny anything. He just asked one question. Mike, how did you find out? FBI agent, your nephew's investigation led us to evidence of a systematic murder conspiracy. Mike, I told Sarah the YouTube video was a mistake. I told her we should have stopped after Harold. He confessed. Right there, during the arrest, Mike confessed to multiple murders. But Rebecca's arrest, that's where things got really dark. When the FBI found Rebecca, she was burning documents in the motel parking lot. Financial records, medical files, and a list. A list of future targets. Elderly people across 4 different states that she was planning to kill. My name was on that list. Emma's name was on that list. But there were 12 other names too. 12 people who have no idea they were marked for death. During her interrogation, Rebecca finally broke. And what she confessed to, it's worse than we ever imagined. Rebecca, I've been doing this for 8 years. Not just for Sarah and Mike. I work with families across multiple states. The demand is higher than you'd think. FBI agent, how many people have you killed? Rebecca, I stopped counting after 30. 30 people. Rebecca Walsh has murdered at least 30 elderly people across 8 states. The FBI is now investigating suspicious deaths in all these locations. They estimate the total victim count could be over 50 people. This wasn't just about my family. This was a nationwide murder-for-hire operation targeting the elderly. But the most shocking moment came during Sarah's interrogation. After 6 hours of denying everything, she finally broke down. And what she confessed to, it goes back further than any of us realized. Sarah, it started with my mother. Our mother. Margaret wasn't the first. FBI agent, what do you mean? Sarah, our mother, she was getting suspicious about Harold. She was asking questions. She was going to go to the police. Our grandmother. The woman I thought died of natural causes when I was 12. Sarah, we couldn't let her destroy the family. So we made it look like a heart attack. Rebecca made it look natural. Sarah and Mike killed their own mother. My grandmother's mother. The matriarch of our family. This woman. I remember her. She used to make Christmas cookies and tell us stories about the old country. She was kind and gentle and loved her family more than anything. And her own children murdered her to cover up their crimes. The FBI has reconstructed the timeline. It goes back 12 years. 12 years of systematic murder within our own family. Sarah continued. After Mother, it got easier. Harold was suspicious, so he had to go. Then Dorothy started asking questions about Harold, so we handled her too. Then Frank got worried about Dorothy. Do you understand what she's saying? Every murder led to another murder. They were killing people to cover up previous murders. 7 people. Sarah and Mike murdered 7 members of our own family over 12 years. And if I hadn't found that diary, if I hadn't made those videos, they would have kept going. Emma would be dead. I would be dead. And Rebecca would be moving on to her next victims. The arraignment was yesterday. Sarah Chen, Mike Chen, and Rebecca Walsh are being held without bail. The charges are extensive. Conspiracy to commit murder, insurance fraud, racketeering, and first-degree murder for each victim. Prosecutor, this is one of the most extensive murder conspiracies in state history. We will be seeking the death penalty for all 3 defendants. Agent Park told me the evidence is overwhelming. Between Emma's recordings, the financial records, and the confessions, this case is airtight. Emma, I just wish I could have saved more of them. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't realize how extensive it was until it was too late. Emma's recovering well. Physically, at least. Emotionally, we both going to need therapy for a long time. We planning a memorial service for all the victims. The real victims, not the fake funerals where everyone smiled except the people who knew the truth. We found out why everyone was smiling at Grandma's funeral. Sarah had told the extended family that Grandma was finally at peace after struggling with dementia. They thought they were celebrating the end of her suffering. They had no idea they were celebrating her murder. But Grandma knew. She knew exactly what was happening. And she made sure the truth would come out. Let me read the final diary entry. If something happens to me, I hope someone discovers the truth. Not for revenge, but so this never happens to another family. Grandma, we discovered the truth, and we're making sure it never happens again. The FBI investigation is ongoing. They've identified potential victims in 12 other states. Families who thought their elderly relatives died naturally are now learning the truth. If you suspect an elderly family member died under suspicious circumstances, especially if they were in the care of a private nurse or had recently changed their will, please call this number. This story went viral because people recognized something universal, the fear that the people we trust most might be the ones who hurt us. But it also shows that sometimes, when we speak up, when we refuse to accept easy answers, we can uncover the truth. And sometimes, that truth can save lives. Thank you for following this story. Thank you for helping us find justice for Grandma and all the other victims. Trust your instincts. Ask questions. And never let anyone convince you that your concerns don't matter.